To be crystal clear, there was no direct order from President Trump to put 10,000 troops to be on the ready for January 6th. Correct?
No. Yeah, that's correct. There was no order from the president.
Just want to be clear here that since then, in February of 2021, Mark Meadows said on Fox News that, quote, even in January, that was a given. As many as 10,000 National Guard troops were told to be on the ready by the Secretary of Defense. Is there any accuracy to that statement?
I'm not was never given any direction or order or knew of any plans of that nature.
Now, that was said under oath, under penalty of perjury. Serious consequences to lying under oath. But just to watch the mental gymnastics, pretzels that certain people will put themselves in to same people would talk about penalty of perjury, affidavit for the election fraud nonsense, where it was random people on the internet, unverified, clicking on some links, right, which in no way identifies who they are or where they're even logged in from, putting in their a name and writing stuff. You know, I saw some gremlins with a box of ballots. The same people have that extreme low bar of evidence who would say, hey, there were lots of affidavits that said people saw stuff. There was hundreds of affidavits. They just don't want to look at them, right? Websites, which, again, I covered everything. I covered the whole election fraud from the beginning when it first started talking about it, and I was like, oh, man, maybe they are doing some election fraud stuff. Then I quickly looked at it and like, oh, it's actually nonsense. Well, I covered those websites. I identified them, and I saw the flaw, like how there was this, basically anybody could just go and type stuff up, right? It's not a legit affidavit in terms of being able to link it to an actual person. And then I saw how the websites quickly disappeared once all the investigations and stuff happened. All of a sudden, the website gets pulled, right? I still have the link in my favorites. So that was like, oh, but it's affidavit, a penalty of perjury. Like repeating stuff that propagandists that you listen to tell you on YouTube. Now we have a real penalty of perjury. We know who these people are. It's not some anonymous person on the internet. And they're on camera, audio recording with their voice. I mean, confirmed identity, saying that Trump basically lied about the 10,000 troops being denied. But those same people who would accept affidavits from random anonymous people on the internet for election fraud stuff will now somehow claim that, oh, them saying it under oath, it doesn't really mean anything. Any evidence that contradicts what they want to believe is somehow a problem. Whether that problem is a rational problem or not, it's a problem. Uncomfortable truths.
I definitely gave the number of 10,000 National Guardsmen. I think you should have 10,000 of the National Guard ready. They took that number, from what I understand, they gave it to the people at the Capitol, which is controlled by Pelosi, and I heard they rejected it because they didn't think it looked good.
They rejected it because knowing Donald Trump, there may be an ounce of truth to this, but if you actually look at what really happened in its entirety, like maybe some other group was discussing about potentially having National Guard troops, not initiated by Trump. Trump wasn't involved in it at all, right? And it wasn't rejected. Maybe someone says something like, I don't know if that's the right move. All right, so another person is discussing about having National Guard. Someone says, I don't know if that's a good idea. Trump translates it to, he requested the troops and Pelosi blocked it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it is, because the best lies, and I think he's a pretty good liar. And people who deny that don't consider the audience. They don't consider who he's lying to. He's lying to his base, right? So it's the way he lies is very effective to the intended audience. Obviously, it's not very good to liberals, but he's not lying to liberals, right? So the best lies are clothed in lots of truth, right? Shapiro and especially Crowder, very good at this. Truth. So much truth. No one will notice the little lie over here in the corner. Entire perspective. Is it possible that Donald Trump simply lied? Put it out into right-wing propaganda opposite of the left-wing party, the so-called independent media folks. Repeated it, spread it, they like to hear, right? You deny the, but then you get something, a little trickle of, oh, Ray Epps. Look, this is Ray Epps guy. He may be FBI, right? Oh, Ray Epps. Let's talk about that. Ray Epps, right? One BLM guy was there. Oh, a BLM guy. Yes. Did you hear about the BLM guy? BLM, right? So you put out there, oh, Trump requested the troops and Nancy blocked it. Yes. It's Pelosi. Trump did the right thing and they blocked him. Right? And then you go out there and you say, actually, he didn't. You're fake news. How do you know? Under oath. Oath doesn't matter. People lie under oath all the time and then they get away with it. Ray Epps is not who you think he is. Well, who wrote that? Who wrote that story? Did you hear there was a BLM cat that was at the Capitol that was pushing people into the Capitol to have them do stuff? I knew it! There was a cat there, a BLM cat! Yes! Did you hear that the BLM cat story was actually written by a comedian and it was actually a joke? Oh, well! Kind of reminds me of when I talk to leftists about left-wing extremists. They dodge and they dive and, sometimes the people that go to these protests, they're not even actually leftists. They're saboteurs. Don't you know? The guy with the black umbrella. That's one thing you'll never get Americans to be honest about. Right-wingers to be honest about right-wing extremists, I've never seen it. Left-wingers to be honest about left-wing extremists, I've never seen it. Very dishonest country this is. Very dishonest country. Lack of accountability everywhere. Everyone doing this. He did it! He went that way! That's the American tradition. Want to talk about American values? He went that way! That's American values, right? No one wants to accept any blame. It's always the other guy, the other team. He did it! Where'd he go? That way! Anyway, this is Baby Channel. Debate me, comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell.